Austin, Texas. Right now isn't the time to savor the 1450-watt Burmester surround sound system or the 64-color ambient interior lighting or perhaps the 12.3-inch Hairs color navigation display because, at this time, the speedo is flashing 159 miles per hour. Of course, if I don't brake immediately and extremely hard indeed, I will fly throughout turn 12 at circuit on the Americas and into your kitchen from the nearby Green Mesquite BBQ. Fortunately, I do not already have got 2 passengers riding along from the back seats, because going airborne would undoubtedly spill their Moet and Chandon Rose. Last year, the 2018 Mercedes-AMG GT won considered one of 8 coveted spots on our 2018 Automobile All-Stars list. Our resident hot shoe Andy Pilgrim dubbed it the ultimate example of brute force without ignorance I've ever endured the pleasure of driving. The only problem? The two-door GTR allowed its driver to express its staggering muscle and handling brilliance with merely one lucky passenger. Well, AMG devotees is now able to invite 3 friends for the power party, thanks towards the arrival on the all-new 2019 Mercedes-AMG GT 4-door coupe. Unlike its two-door sibling, the brand-new 4-door is just not an AMG-modified version of your existing Benz. It's a wholly AMG-bred machine, an all-wheel drive, performance e-biased rival on the Porsche Panamera. The US market could possibly get 3 versions. The entry-level model could be the GT53, featuring Benz's all-new, turbocharged 3.0-liter inline-6 by having an electric supercharger as well as a mild hybrid system dubbed EcoBoost that contributes 21 horsepower so that as much as 184 pound-feet of torque. Total output is 429 horsepower at 6,000 revolutions per minute and 384 pound-feet at 5,800. Next up may be the GT63, which boasts precisely the same AMG 32-valve, twin-turbo 4.0-liter V8 found within the two-door GTR. It delivers 577 horsepower at 5,500 revolutions per minute and 74 more pound-feet of torque than from the two-seater, 590 lb-ft at 2,500 revolutions per minute. Finally, in the top from the pyramid, just itching to meet up with a Panamera Turbo with a stoplight, could be the version I drove around Kota, the GT63S, which consists of version from the twin-turbo V8 boosted to some thundering 630 horsepower at 6,500 revolutions per minute and 664 lb-ft at 2,500. Both V8 models are mated into a wet-clutch 9-speed automatic transmission. The GT53 receives a 9-speed that has a conventional torque converter. The V8 GTs will arrive at the outset of 2019, together with the GT53 following shortly thereafter. As you'd expect from AMG's Star GT 4-door, the 63S is seriously quick automobile. The maker claims a 0 to 60 mph use of just 3.1 seconds plus a top speed electronically limited by 195 miles per hour. There's also the all-weather versatility of AMG Performance 4MATIC plus variable all-wheel drive, which uses an electromechanical clutch to bias more torque to your front axle as necessary. Standard about the 63S and optional within the GT63 is often a drift mode feature, which deactivates the transfer case if your car was in race mode, allowing the 63S to control entirely in rear-wheel drive, the far better to burn the trunk tires into smoking husks whilst you pirouette sideways through turns. Also standard about the V8 models are an electronically locking rear diff and rear-wheel steering. Up to 62 miles per hour, the trunk tires steer opposite on the fronts, effectively shortening the wheelbase and improving responsiveness. Above 62 miles per hour, the rears steer in phase with all the fronts, elongating the wheelbase for more stability at speed. No under 6 driving modes are for sale to tailor the 63S for a motoring needs: slippery, comfort, sport, sport plus, race, and individual, that enables the driver to generate a customized profile of powertrain response, steering feel, suspension damping, as well as the exhaust valves. Within the various modes is often a new AMG Dynamics feature that, using onboard sensors to watch such inputs as speed, lateral force, and steering angle, constantly adjusts the soundness control, all-wheel drive, rear axle steering, as well as the limited slip. The slippery and comfort driving modes have a basic setting, optimized for stability. In sport mode, the AMG Dynamics shift to advanced, which lowers yaw damping and quickens steering response for improved responsiveness. Sport Plus turns into a pro setting, which adds more liveliness and driving assistance. Finally, for track driving, the race mode utilizes a master setting, allowing a bit of oversteer as well as the quickest steering response coming from all. Whenever a particular driving mode is selected, the attached AMG Dynamics setting is displayed within the multimedia screen. While the GT53 rides with an AMG Ride Control Sport suspension with steel springs and adaptive damping, the V8 models feature an air suspension, also with adaptive damping. 3 different spring tuning settings can be purchased, depending around the selected driving mode. To reduce roll and pitch, the spring minute rates are also automatically adjusted such conditions as hard acceleration, heavy braking, or sudden turning maneuvers. Active aerodynamics are used on every AMG GT, the spine spoiler flattening out for reduced drag on straightaways and moving with a steep, high downforce setting in turns. Choose the available Aerodynamics package available only on V8 GTs, and also the size from the front splitter is increased whilst the active rear wing is replaced, having a fixed, manually adjustable rear spoiler. At 186 miles per hour, the fixed rear wing offers an additional 66 pounds of downforce compared together with the active version. In front, 20 vertical fins from the lower front bumper are opened and closed by a power motor to guide the airflow as necessary, also to ensure optimum engine cooling. While nowhere close to dramatic as the long-hooded, two-door GTR cousin, the GT 4-door is really a clean, flowing shape using a profile a little more rakish than its Panamera rivals, though quite a bit less distinctive since the Maserati quadruports. The V8 models obtain a sportier front than the GT53, with larger air intakes covered with silver trim. Optional cosmetic packages include night with high-gloss black trim, chrome, and carbon fiber. Wheel sizes from 19 inches to 21 inches can be purchased, every one of them in lightweight alloy to attenuate unsprung weight. The GT63S is not short of gorgeous inside, leather-lined and radiating quality just like a Louis Vuitton steamer trunk. Most important, certainly, are the 2 rear seats, and I'm very happy to report they're plenty roomy. An available executive rear seat package includes a center console with touchscreen infotainment and climate controls, wireless mobile phone charging, as well as a temperature-controlled cup holder. The package also allows the spine seats to fold forward, increasing trunk space. Up front, the GT63S features 2 huge 12.3-inch color displays having a choice of 3 modes, Classic, Sport, and Super Sport, which adds additional performance info and, most helpfully when shifting manually through the aluminum wheel paddles, a substantial shift light that blinks red when you're approaching the rev limit. The steering wheel is often a superb, flat-bottom 3-spoke design. It also sports display buttons that are actually tiny touchscreens, effective at displaying various icons depending around the function used. Without removing either hand from the tire, The trucker can control everything through the infotainment system to your preferred driving mode. And if you really feel like channeling your inner Lewis Hamilton, every GT 4-door comes standard by having an AMG Track Pace package that, when driving on the race circuit, displays greater than 80 bits of data, from G-loads to 0 to 60 mph times. In addition, it can record lap and sector times, allow drivers to assess their driving performance back inside the pits. On the path, the GT63S is refined and impressively quiet, with little discernible wind noise. Even in sport mode, the ride remains fluid and comfy, never turning harsh if your pavement is broken. As you'd expect in the 664 pound-feet on tap, your vehicle surges far away from stoplights or higher steep hills effortlessly, the 9-speed transmission slicing up the torque into seamlessly distributed chunks. Information is well displayed and simple to watch, however the interface can nonetheless be awkward to work with. The central touchpad is overly touchy and tough to navigate, especially about the move. If you like lurking in nightclubs, you'll love the glowing band of colored lighting that winds its way over the doors and dash. It's around the track, though, how the GT63S really shows its mettle. Lapping the 4-mile, 20-turn COTA circuit, home towards the Formula One United States Grand Prix, I began in Sport Plus mode, following in line behind German racer and winner with the 2018 24 Hours of Nürburgring Jens Farth, who wasted insufficient time getting up to speed. For a leather-lined, luxuriously appointed Gran Turismo, the 63S runs damn well. Acceleration is fierce albeit completely composed, the 4MATIC Plus system putting the electricity down seamlessly. At the end from the 0.62-mile back straight, the 63S was closing in on 160 miles per hour. Fortunately, the brakes are huge, ventilated and perforated composite discs with 6-piston fixed calipers in the front. At DAF during our lapping session did they even can hint of fade. AMG hadn't yet finalized curb weight figures on the press preview, but it's reliable advice the GT63S isn't any featherweight, despite extensive usage of aluminum and carbon fiber from the mostly steel structure. Yet it bites hard into turns, with little understeer, and displays impressive composure during transient maneuvers, especially welcome when you're flying through COTA's high-speed S's. Steering feel is extremely good, nicely weighted and delivering useful cornering load feedback. For one lap I switched into race mode and, appropriately, the 63S appeared to loosen up, the tail definitely increasingly lively and steering feel seeming to quicken. I could still feel the soundness system stepping in, though, if I was too heavy within the throttle exiting a turn. Pricing is to come, but figure a base sticker of about $150,000 for your well-outfitted GT63S. That puts it roughly on par with all the Panamera Turbo and slightly above a corner-drive Maserati Quattroporte GTS. So it's pricey, yes, but this new AMG does everything well. It's comfortable, beautifully attired, full of every imaginable amenity, built such as a bank safe, and fast enough to nip on the heels of just about any performance car you can name. Now, go choose 3 lucky friends. 2019 Mercedes-AMG GT63S 4-door coupe specifications. January 2019. Price: $150,000 estate. Engine: 4.0 liters twin-turbo, 32-valve V8 630 HP at 5,500 revolutions per minute, 664 lb-ft at 2,500 revolutions per minute. Transmission: 9-speed automatic. Layout: 4-door, 4-passenger, front-engine, AWD sedan. EPA mileage 1,622 miles per gallon. City Huia State. LXWXH 199.2 by 81.5 by 57.0 inches, wheelbase 116.2 inches, weight 3,900 pounds. Estate 060 miles per hour, 3.1 seconds, top speed 195 miles per hour.